At Gamescom 2025 had a chance to try a few upcoming VR titles, but I have to be honest, this was the Gamescom edition with the fewest VR games I've seen since 2018. The days when Oculus would fill entire booths with demos and unreleased tech experiments feels like a distant memory now. Back then, even if the games never launched, they were there just to show off what VR could do. If you're looking for my thoughts on Reach, the new game by Dreams, the full preview is already available on this channel. In this video instead, we will focus on two other titles, Deadpool VR and Street Gods, a surprisingly interesting game that also reminds me a bit of Thor. Yes, another superhero experience. So, don't waste more time and let's get started. Let's start with Deadpool VR and Meta exclusive. The game follows the path of titles like Batman Arkham VR and is clearly designed to attract a younger audience, even though Deadpool himself has always been of an adult-rated character. The graphic style here is very cartoony, which helps tone down the violence. What we get is a fast-paced, stylish single-player action game. It feels a lot like those viral clips on social media, you know, the ones with modded sandbox games, crazy kills and slow motion moves that get millions of views. I remember some reel that was about Boneworks pretending to be a Spider-Man game something. And in fact this game is clearly made for those moments, for sharing clips, for real content. That alone could already make some people roll their eyes, but let's look deeper. The game puts you in a random moment in Deadpool's story, in a strange eastern setting where an angry samurai wants to take you down. You lose everything, from katanas to guns to grenades, all in a smooth and fast-paced way. You can even juggle enemies in the air by chaining hits, which looks very cool. There are execution combo, multipliers and a super bar that when full turns the scene into total chaos. You throw deadly cards like a casino magician and collect all the loot from the enemies you have taken down. Of course there is wall running, grappling, sliding and dodging. Everything moves quickly and feels fluid. Deadpool fans will love the tone, rude, over the top but always playful and in line with the comic character. It's never serious or dark, always fun and immature in the best way. I played 2 long levels and based on what we have seen in the trailers, I believe the full campaign will easily offer more than 10 hours of content. The game was developed by Twisted Pixel, the same team behind Wilson's Art and Defector, so yes, these are people who know how to make VR games. My hands-on time was very positive in terms of gameplay, mechanics and technical quality. What remains to be seen is whether this kind of run and gun gameplay will stay fun for the entire length of the campaign. Let's move to the second part of this video and let's talk about Street Gods, developed by Soul Assembly. These are VR veterans, they have worked on games like Drop Dead and Warhammer Battle Sister. Street Gods is a wave-based action game focused on a very simple but fun mechanics. You can throw the hammer, call it back and even teleport to it, which is great for escaping tough situations or reaching high places. The game loop is simple to understand. You defeat waves of enemies inside an arena, earn power-ups and fight mid-bosses and giant mythological creatures. Personally, I really enjoy games like this, small in scope but with big boss fights and not too many complications. Over time your Mjolnir can gain elemental powers like fire, ice and electricity. You can trigger storms, use the hammer like a boomerang and more. There are a lot of creative ideas here. But all of this is currently limited by the fact that the game is exclusive to MetaQuest and it struggles when too many enemies appear on screen, but I believe it just was a beta build and when the game will be released, I'm pretty sure that the performance will be okay. In my head I keep comparing this game to the Asgard's Wrath, which back in 2019 showed what epic Norse VR games could look like on PC VR. But unfortunately, MetaQuest can't reach those high peaks. So overall the game was pretty fun and I can't wait to play the full release. And one last thing, I didn't really understand the street part of Street Gods. I mean, the music is a mix between hip-hop and Norse epic music, but I'm not sure it works. Maybe it gets better later in the game, but first impression I felt a little bit confusing. Okay, that's it for this year's Gamescom VR recap. Thanks to everyone who made it to the end of the video. Subscribe if you've liked it, and as always I'll see you in the next video. Take care.